Welcome to episode 3 of my self-important Magic the Gathering show where I build decks because I feel like it. We'll start off with the continuing adventures of my mono-white deck, New England Clam Chowder. Get it? Because it's mono-white keyword soup. It's totally funny of a name. Let's see. Last time I was talking about adding card draw, and this will probably be the last update. There we go. Last update of this deck, because at least until I ever get around to playing it. I don't remember if I mentioned that I took out 4 1-drops to add in Sensei's Divining Top. Let's see, Endless Atlas, and I think Flump was already in it. I added this Howling Mine, Thorough Investigation, which whenever I attack, I investigate. Investigating isn't the best card draw, but looking through supposedly repeatable card draw in mono white, it was slim pickings, if I'm being honest. I mean, that's why I put in the Howling Mine, and I had no problem with Flump. Endless Atlas. At least these, are mana cheap. Sensei's Divining Top to at least, not exactly scry. Search the premises. You investigate. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, investigate. So, while that's 1 mana more expensive than Thorough Investigation, Thorough Investigation only investigates 1 when you attack, but by the wording on this, for each creature that's attacking you, you can investigate, so that's cool. I think I mentioned, that I took out that. The Ancient Tomb. I don't really have anything against putting super expensive cards in the deck, since I'm also quite pro proxying. It just didn't feel good to have such an expensive card that didn't actually really do much for the deck other than ramp like by 1 mana. I forgot that I had Minas Tirith. I'm not a I like Lord of the Rings enough to have read the books, but I couldn't tell you how to pronounce anything. I forgot I had this, that I can draw for basically 3 mana whenever I attack with 2 or more creatures. I forgot about that one. But I added Mikokoro, Center of the Sea, to let everyone draw a card. I figured that if I was fine with Flump and Howling Mine and Cut a Deal and Secret Rendezvous, I would be fine with that. Even though it's effectively 3 mana for everyone to draw a card. But maybe that'll make people like me more and attack me less. Probably not, but we can hope. There's another creature I could have put in this deck, but she doesn't have a whole lot of keywords. And that's, we'll go here. 3rd path. Yeah. You and target opponent each draw a card. That can I'm gonna at least maybe board that. She has Vigilance, so she doesn't have 0 keywords. And she can destroy artifacts or enchantment. So that's not terrible. So there we go. That's over here now. Put some other stuff over there. So yeah, that's probably the last update. I did move some cards around, like land taxes over here in cash money instead of in that costs extra. Same with our Chaomancer's map. Forgot I had Esper Sentinel in the deck, but I don't really consider it card draw. Because I consider it more that the opponents will pay the 1. Because Esper doesn't even have any keyword, so it's not like it's going to get bigger. And even then, it would only be on my turn on my main phase 2. So, yeah. Anyway, so we're going to close this tab forever. Now we're going to, just a quick update on Scrymea River. I forgot to put in a description at the end of the last episode, which is, if I recall correctly, where we put how we plan on winning. We have more flying creatures than everyone else, and maybe with all this crying we find an answer. That's basically it. This isn't... Whoops, I didn't actually need to press that button. It's not rocket surgery. I also put in my custom tags. I don't think I changed the deck too much. I added Ormos to the maybe board. I still don't have Rhystic Study, that one Jace, Labman, or Thoracle in the deck, because I'm like, I'd rather win with combat damage in a medium power game than try to burst through my deck and win because I have no cards. Same reason why I have Living Conundrum in the deck. Living Conundrum is in the deck and Ormos isn't, because Living Conundrum is 5 mana, so it puts it right in between Siani and Elagath. And Ormos kinda competes, because I'd rather have Elagath than Ormos in play most of the time. I also took out Talaria West. That was a silly include, since by the end of the day I didn't put anything in the deck that it could search for. It can only search for my other lands. So that was kind of silly. And that's probably the last time I'm going to talk about this deck as well, because there wasn't a whole lot I wanted to change after I made this the first time. Just small updates. Just going to my notes. There we go. So now we're on mono black. Finding mono black commanders I wanted to build for was actually kind of difficult, because a lot of it was aristocrats, and anybody can build an aristocrats deck. It's not that difficult. I liked Massacre Girl, known killer, because Menace gives your creatures wither. That's kind of neat. And then whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. So basically, if you kill a creature with the wither effect or -1/-1 counters or other minus effects. But I am going to build a second deck. This is going to be a double feature, because I did have another idea. Mono black elves. It's going to start as private, and then we'll move it to unlisted as we finish it. I'm not going to put anything there. Paper. Create deck. Add cards from a search. T. Elf. T. Legend. There's specific C equals B. Aria First of Lockpoint was actually my very first idea for a mono black deck, but that's why I was like, oh look, drain opponents when you play, when you get black creatures in the field and then you sacrifice to draw cards. I was just like, that's neat, but ultimately not very interesting. Marlin of the Moonsong is kind of cool. Players can't draw cards. Sorry. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, and then demonic tutors, basically. But, like, that feels like a high-powered card for just people to go, let's just finish this game quickly. Just you're on this 3 life a turn clock. Pull the best cards out of your deck. Let's get this going. Set as commander. Set as commander. Yes. For those who might have been surprised that that my third deck wasn't partner commanders, here we go. Normally, when I would do either of these as a commander, I'd have one of these in the 99, one as the commander, and then there's that mono green elf commander with partner that puts +1/+1 counters on stuff. But and I know I said I didn't want to do typal, but this felt like a challenge since it was mono black. So you like we have +1/+1 counters stuff over here, but we don't have any of the synergy pieces from green. Nadier also creates creature tokens, once again with no support from green, so that's kind of interesting. He's also a 6 mana commander, and we're not playing green, so we're not going to ramp into that. And then, heck, this is expensive too. This isn't even efficient. Whenever Miara, Thorn of the Glade, or another elf you control dies, you may pay 1 and 1 life. If you do, draw a card. So, like, that's not even free. But we are going to put Miara, because we're probably still going to do aristocracy things, but we're not going to really have the payoffs because those aren't elves. Sacrifice another creature, draw X cards. That'll go into the deck. X is their power. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 more creature cards in your graveyard. She's an oversold cemetery. That is neat. I'm saying that like I didn't already know that she was an oversold cemetery. I just wanted to say that, but that is neat. And we can choose a background with her if she was the commander, but that's not how we're going to do it. And normally, I know we do lands first, but I wanted to get our elves out of the way. First we close. We're going to group this by type for now, because I want to have a quick look to see how many creatures I have. So we have 5 total. I kind of want 30 total creatures, so this will be about 28, unless there's not 28 elves. There are 40 mono black elves. So let's start looking through these. I imagine a lot of them are Lorwyn oriented, though I know that there was actually an odd number of mono black elves from Kaldheim. Let's see. So, whenever Briarblade Adept attacks, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. That's a little expensive. We'll come back to it, of course. Sacrifice another creature or artifact to incubate. We're not going to be doing any Phyrexian shenanigans. Oh, this is some interesting lore, because this is a Lorwyn. The elves of Lorwyn sought perfection. The etched host supplied it. That's interesting. Discards a card. If its power was higher, you get a Berserker zombie. Drider are the elf spiders. I would accept worse stats for lower mana cost, because this is would be like really cool otherwise. Dustwielder. I like how it's an inverted Savannah Lions. And then this boast is kind of cool. I'm going to maybe board it, but I don't expect that I'll actually use it. No. Oh, graveyard to hand. That's a good... No. When Elvish Dreadlord dies, non-elf creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. I like it. It costs 5 for a 3/3, but it has Death Touch. And then Encore for 7, which means exile this card from your graveyard. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent this turn if able. They gain haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. So for 7 mana, you get 3/3/3s that don't matter because you're giving all non-elves -9/-9. This is base. That's I like it. When Exquisite Huntmaster dies, you get an elf creature. I want to maybe board that. I don't think we're going to be making too many tokens. I didn't even read what puts the +1/+1 counters on Nadier. Blight Assassin enters the battlefield. Target creature opponent controls gets -1/-1 down the turn. No. When Blight color dies, create 3. Maybe. I don't think we're going to be doing token creature shenanigans. Destroy target non-elf. It costs 3, but you know what? I'm willing to put in a slightly inefficient card for the bit. When Guiltleaf Winnower enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature whose power and toughness aren't equal. That's hypocrisy. But I like that. 5 for a 4/3 menace, and then mess with anyone who's not playing elves. I do like this elf racism theme. I look forward to the other cards that we're going to be putting into this deck because it all amuses me. Scry 1. Oh, that's neat. You can play it from the graveyard. But nah. Hired X-Blade, but you need to spend mana from a treasure. Hunter of Eyeblights. When Hunter of Eyeblights comes into play, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you don't control. Huh. And then you can destroy target creature with a counter on it. Snock ran as fast as he could, but the sound of hooves grew ever louder in his ears. Infestation Stage. Oh, it makes insects. That's kind of gross. Coma's Faithful. No. Discard an elf card. Target creature gets -X/-X until on turn, where X is the number of elves you control. I like the idea of that. Because we're probably going to get those elves back out of the graveyard. I'm going to maybe board her just to acknowledge her existence, because I don't hate her. I like her a lot. Death Touch. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield. Okay, so we probably do want stuff that makes tokens. And then we'll add the Nightblade just because it's Nadier's Nightblade. Where's that thing that made... Yeah. We're going to want you. We're going to close this. Move to tokens. I don't like that I can't drag. Shut up. Just wait, I can do this. Auto, there we go. And then auto. Okay, there we go. Now we can go Back to type. I don't like that I can't move it in this format. That's kind of silly. Anyway, card search. Whenever a land an opponent controls enters, that player loses 1 life. And we put a +1/+1 counter on this. That's neat. Plague Witch. Whenever another non-token elf is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may create a token elf. Okay, yep, we kind of want that. Oh, it's a tribal enchantment. Prowess of the Fair. Only 2. Sweet. Ruthless Winnower. Oh, make people sacrifice non-elves. Get them out of here. Remove assassin card from your graveyard from the game. No. Nope, we're not removing stuff in our graveyard from the game. Whenever another non-token elf or berserker you control dies, you can draw a card while losing a life. We like that. Skimfar Shadow Shade. You can either gain life or make people lose life for all of our elves. Whenever Thornbite Archer attacks, each opponent who doesn't control an elf loses 1 life. That's maybe board for being kind of funny. When Thorn Mantle Striker enters the battlefield... Oh, well, that's fine. Elves you control. We're probably not going to control so many elves that this is great, but I just like what we're doing here. And I feel like this illustrates a point I was trying to make earlier when I said that typal decks feel kind of solved and there's probably an objective, correct cards to put in a deck. And I'm not saying I'm capable of doing that. Oh, I guess that was the last one. Scroll back to top. How many creatures? We managed to get 15, 16, 17, 18 creatures. Card search. I don't... You know what? This makes tokens, so that's probably good. Categories. I think... Here we go. Back to types. We're up to 18. We want to at least get over 20. Card search. So we'll come back. Oh wait, I can do this. And see, now I have 2 tabs. Aha. So that way I just can do that. Oh, changeling. You know. Oh, we got to go here. Oh, changeling. So we have the bark form harvester, which at least is a different, a less efficient, but still way, you know, it's still a way to get stuff back into our deck. So we're going to maybe board that. We want the black market connections. Because, one, it makes treasure tokens. I don't remember. Is there only creature tokens that Nadier are carrying? Nope, it's token you control. So the treasures, like treasures and clues, all count. Bloodline Pretender, not... As long as a... Oh, that's that thing. Okay. Changeling Outcast. Nah. Oh, this thing gets creatures back. You know what? Because there's actually... There's another card I want to put in this deck that'll make this kind of neat, maybe, I hope. Let's see. Nameless Inversion. Ah, that's interesting. No, don't need that. Don't need that. That just has Death Touch. That's not interesting enough. So now we close, and we're at exactly 20 creatures. Although I guess for him, we'll probably want to put in more token making stuff. But I think at this point, now that we've done like this pass, I think we want to finally put in our land base. So swamp. Let's change what swamp we're using. Monocolor deck, 30 swamp. A multicolored deck, I'll probably still try to put in 20 swamp. Or not 20 swamp, but 20 basics. Because I feel like even that we probably shouldn't. We should be somewhat responsible and not have 0 basics. Order by price. What are the cheapest ones? So 34 cents. Oh, wait. Set name. Did Lorwyn LR lore? So they're the Lorwyn swamps. One, two, three, four. Did Shadowmoor have its own? Yes, it did. Yeah, we're just being kind of weird with our lands. And then was there a third set? The Lorwyn block is the 13th block. I'm like, let's Lorwyn Morning Tide. Well, that's a small expansion, so maybe it didn't have lands. But we're gonna look. Nope. Okay, so Morning Tide didn't have lands. We're actually gonna go 0 of those. Okay, you might notice that 8 will be 32. So there's probably going to be other lands that we grab. But 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4? No, it'd be 24. So we want 2 more different swamps. I should wait, close. Swamp. There. Whoops, nope. 3, 27, 29, 30. Yep, yeah. I know this is kind of silly, but this is personalizing the deck. All printings. Oh, that's a... Yep, Amonkhet. You know, different kinds of full art lands. That might be cool. Is that Assassin's Creed? Yeah. Battle for Zendikar. Those are kind of neat. Yeah, I want the other 6 to be... Oh, Bloomborough is also a nice place. But there's 4 different types, and I only want to grab 2. See how far we get before it's like, we cannot load any more lands. We have no idea what you want. Oh, there's the Liliana lands from M21. Those are neat. The Doctor Who? Yep, the Who lands. Oh, that's Dominaria United. For some reason, my brain went to the Theros Beyond Death ones. Oh, what is this? This is... Oh, Double Masters. Man, $2 per land? That's kind of ridiculous. I say as there's these one lands that if I see, I'll probably grab them. Even though they were secret lair lands and are probably super expensive. I'm looking for something that screams xenophobic elf. The ones from Duskmorn, I could see them falling for Valgavoth. Not on purpose or anything, but just because xenophobia is dumb. Oh, Foundations. Ooh, I really like these ones. Less the ones with Liliana on it, because Liliana ain't in this deck. But I'm going to set that as a new card. We're going to have 3 of those. I really like those. Whoops. Set it as commander. Well, look at me. Oh, good. How much were those lands each, anyway? 99 cents. I turned my nose up at 79 cents lands. No, $2 lands. I didn't turn my nose up at the 79-cent ones. Holy macaroni. I don't even know what that is. Oh. Stare into the glare of the majesty of these white bordered lands. Double feature lands. They really bungled the black and white set by not warning people that it was going to be a black and white set. Ooh. Wow, those are expensive. But those are really nice. When we get around to Massacre Girl's deck, this will be a lot faster. Because I'm probably just going to use the Murder from Karlov Manor's lands. Ooh. These are kind of sweet. The Mom Swamps. Yeah. Oh, that's also Mom. That's neat swamps. Ah, here's the murders. Yeah. She's probably just going to use these. We're only like halfway through the alphabet. Oh, these are... Oh, all will be one, I guess? Wow, $10 swamp. $11 swamp. What were those other ones? Because I think, yeah, these Phyrexian ones, I kind of think are... I like them because there's kind of a poignancy to them. We have the one Phyrexian elf, and it's just like, yeah, these elves are jerks like that. We're going to leave this open. I like how we can close them. So +1 tab, go to syntax search, and we just go T, land. For 10 lands, O, add black. Actually, we probably just need that and we'll be fine. Ooh, I know it's orcs, and orcs are the enemies of elves, but I do feel like, because one, it makes tokens, and two, you can make well, it makes a token. So for 4 mana, you can make a 1/1 orc. That might not be great, but that's still like maybe board material. Jukabug is just nice to have around if you draw it. Better to draw it late, of course. Castle Lochthwain. Not a fan of 4 cards or 4 mana, draw a card and lose some number of life. Everglades, Fell the Profane, blah, blah, blah. Most of these things do not matter. Oh, I do like Phyrexian Tower. It does fit our weird little tertiary sub-theme of these elves are evil and ripe for the picking from Phyrexia. Oh, I do like giving a legendary creature fear until the end of turn. There's another one I just thought about that's kind of a silly card to put in. But, oh, yeah, I definitely missed it. Oh, it might actually be a swamp. Vault of Whispers, don't need that. Good old classic Urborg. Let's go back to the top. T. Swamp for the swamps that are not just swamp. Yeah, I was thinking of leech ridden swamp. Each opponent loses 1 life. That's just fun. The Witch's Cottage. I don't mind that. How many? We just need 5 more. I'm going to put in some jerk card for jerk cards. We're going to put in Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. It's a little bit expensive, but it gives everybody swamps, and maybe that'll be important. It is a... Oh yeah, that's right. We cannot drag. Whatever. categories. It's kind of an expensive card. I don't think we'll need it, because we're probably not going to put in anything that has Swamp Walk. That's like the main reason why we'd want it. But we are going to put in both of the Cabals. Cabal. We're putting in the $30 coffers. And the $16 stronghold. Let's see. The Magus isn't going to be an elf, since we would have seen it already. But that is one. NYX Thos. Nick Thos with a K. And then 3 Tree. 3 Tree City. All the different things that'll hopefully multiply our mana. That still puts us at 39. Auto, put that into land. There we go. It's kind of just for now kind of thing. Then we're going to go back to types. So we have 20 creatures, which I do not feel is enough. It's annoying that by categories it does this stuff. So I have to just do this. So now we're at 21. I wonder where I was moved to. Oh, probably recursion right there. You know what? I feel like at this point it can go in. And then it'll be like, this game is going too slow. And then I can always just sacrifice it or something to speed the game up. So now we go to 5, because now we're at 22. And then we have this thing that can make them at the cost of 3 life. So let's go back into card search. We do not need this tab anymore. So are there any cheapo changelings? Venomous Changeling if I really had to, even though it's just a 1/3 with Dead Touch for 3. But I think there were better ones over here. So here, now we're going to Elf. 22. I was just double checking the number. I at least want to get to 24. I don't like its primary stats. I don't see this thing getting bigger. I don't want to make people discard. That's just a gentleman's agreement. Oh, you know what? Creates tokens, and I might put in Loth just for the giggles, especially since Loth makes more spider tokens. This can be cast from the graveyard. Well, not cast, it can be returned from the graveyard to the battlefield. Don't want to make people mill either. At 4 mana, punishing people for putting lands into play. Sure, like we're not we're at the not going to be too picky portion of the deck. Okay, so what are we at? Okay, we're at 25. 26, 27. And then we can sort of make them here. And a couple of these things can make tokens. Think, oh, duh. Da 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 da. Oh, creature type. I mean, we are doing typal. So we want Cover of Darkness. We want Crippling Fear. We want Haunting Voyage. We don't have that many creatures, but that'd be a fun way to get them all back. We would like the Herald's Horn. I like Kindred Dominance. I mean, it's expensive, but, you know. Metallic Mimic is what I was thinking of, because it puts +1/+1 counters on stuff. Oh, I like this as a piece of removal. Pax Disdain. Pact of the Serpent is kind of an interesting card draw spell. Path of Ancestry is going to go into the land section and replace something. Return from Extinction, raise the Draugr. Pyre of Heroes, I think, is a good idea. Roaming Throne might be a good idea. I'd have to check. Well, I guess some of those things have. And one of them, our commanders technically would trigger it. Would get double triggers from it. Urza's Incubator. Yes, Urza makes helped make the racist elves. Everything is Urza's fault. So now we close. Then, because we kind of need to go to where my lands are, I think. I think Barad-dûr is getting recut because it's just kind of expensive. Yes, I know you keep having to remind me that that's not how anything works. So how many are we at? We are at 83. Let's go back to types. We got 27, 28, 29 creatures. We almost got there. And I almost knocked the thing over with my elbow. Bunch of 1s. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, at least the Pyre of Heroes is usable. And I can even sacrifice tokens if I ever wanted to find any 1-drops. So that's cool. Whoops. Oh, I was right the first time. I just double brain farted. The Ozolith. Since one of my commanders does in fact care about +1/+1 counters. That way, when he goes away, the Ozolith gets the counters, and then if I recast them, ta-da. I am tempted to put in the honorary elf Magus of the Coffers, but I'm not going to. Palace Siege, because I really like the cons. And if worst comes to worst, or I feel I need it, I can choose dragons. Neither of them are elves, but, you know, we can pretend. Let's see. Yep, put in our basic ramp. Like, we've only been at this for an hour when a deck usually takes 2. I think the creature part, I think that really helped that going fast, because we didn't have to go through, there wasn't a whole lot to go through. T artifact MV equals 2. Although there's actually a couple of things I just thought of right after putting that in. This is exile a creature control. See, but that's them not dying. That's not helpful. While I try to remember the names of stuff. I should have put -T creature, because I definitely don't need any of those. Oh, the charcoal diamond. Cold steel heart. There's one I could just type in, but I realize that we're going to be passing by it soon. Our good friend, the Endless Atlas. And then, ding. We want boots. We want the lightning greaves. We want the mithril coat. What are we at? We're at 93. You have your staples, I have mine, and these are my staples. So let's go back to... Now, since I'm basically happy with my creatures, like I could use one more, but I don't know what I'd put in. I can go here and go, okay. So like we have 3 things that care about counters. We have 3 things that drain. Like these are, none of these are themes. We have the single pinger. We have 2 evasion pieces. We have 6 things that call themselves card draw. Even though I could have swore I had another thing that called itself card draw. I don't know what section it ended up in. A sack outlet. Things that make tokens. 9 pieces of recursion, though. That's cool. Although, even though this thing only recurs itself. Raise the Dogger, return from extinction, burn from hearts there. Yep, Elderfang. Ritualist. Oh, I just thought of another one that I want to put in here. But I'm actually kind of looking. Oh, Pact of the Serpent is right there. I just didn't connect that it was there. Return on the... Is that... Return upon the tide. That was another one that I wanted. Where was the recursion? It's further down. There it is. Return upon the tide. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it was an elf, you get 2 tokens. And it can be foretold. Like, yeah, Kaldheim had this weird black mana elf section. That was mildly confusing. So, yep, 6 more cards. Oh, I should probably put in other kinds of removal. Scroll to top. T instant MV equals 2 O destroy. There's specific ones I'm looking for because none of the ones in 1 I'm particularly happy with because they're a little try-hardy for me. Cast down because not everything you want to destroy is legendary. Infernal Grasp, go for the throat. Heartless Act. I remember for a small point of time I considered this a bad card because everything was putting counters on stuff, and like you just never had a target, and it was so obnoxious. So that puts us at 98. We now have 13 things that are counting themselves as removal. Ten pieces of recursion. More sack outlets would be nice, but hey, whatever. Proliferate would be neat. More for my commander than for that. I think I'm going to put in 2 more pieces of ramp. I don't... Let's see, where's my card draw? I only have 6 pieces of card draw. Technically 7, because I have 1 in the command zone. But it requires my elves to go away. But I do feel like of all the things, I should be more responsible on ramp. So, Mind Stone, which is 2 words, and Thought Vessel, just on the off chance I'm ever at a point where I have more than 7 cards in my hand, and then I also have that at the same time. There we go. Even though I put in the 2 Cabal lands, I didn't really put any big mana sinks in the deck. And I also didn't like Exsanguinate or Torment of Hailfire. I was just like, maybe I'll need a lot of mana. Something to think about, that maybe I'll want to put in some mana sinks in here. But for now, it's just kind of there to cast for some of the bigger the mana hungry things. So let's go up here. Main settings. Wow, I saw the elves wrong way back in the beginning of the episode. I bet you laughed at me for that. The elves who hate non-elves. I mean, that's a little too on the nose. Also, it's too many words. We'll just go with xenophobic elves. What's the win con? Our elves are better than you. Our elves are better than you. There. Then we're going to from private to unlisted. Save. Xenophobic elves. Oh, I gotta... Oh, just deck building contest I don't care about. Then we... Well, whatever. I was really hoping it would say... Oh, wait. Maybe I... Hold on. I'm just grabbing the... Wanting to grab... the link really quick. I just... Oh, there it is. Because that's not correct anymore. Well, I'll grab it at the end. So now we're over here to... Massacre Girl. We remember her. Wither. Start with a swamp. We want 30 swamps. The lands are probably going to be the same, and I probably should have just copied it over, but this deck also might end up with the Magus of the Coffers. MKM. We're gonna use this one. Switch to edition. Yep. Now we go into the card search. Swamp. You know, just have fun with that, and then that, and then T land O that, because we want the lands that add black mana. That'll probably actually be fine in the deck. Bajuka Bog. We should actually count. We added 4. Probably not going to use that one this time. 4. 5. 6, 7. Oh, that's the only thing that has that exact spelling. So 2 more. Or we can stay at 38, because it's actually kind of... Because I think the elf deck is the first one that we stayed at 40. Not that I could think of anything off the top of my head that I'd want to trade lands for. So we're going to... I think we're going to just stick at 38. Let's see. We want our good friend the Massacre Worm. We'll do the Magus. I thought of other cards that I'd put in that other deck. Like, I could put in an actual Oversold Cemetery or Tortured Existence. I think I could take out 2 lands for those. I'm not gonna... Can I... Do I have a history? Yeah, okay, so... One thing that Chrome does better. So, go over here really quick. What lands would I take out? What's funny is that I actually can't think of any of these lands that I would immediately want to get rid of. But I can at least maybe board them. There. Stuff to think about in the future. Hopefully this gets the thing. There's a specific creature I'm looking for. See if you can guess it before I get to it. Whoops, it would help if I did that. Cryptghast. Whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add an additional black. Oh, and then... Sure. You know, interesting pieces of ramp. Oh, yep, okay, I already did that. Grasp of Darkness, because that's the one that's -4/-4 until end of turn. There's also like Golem's Bite and stuff like that, the 1-mana ones that might go in here. I still gotta put in like non-creature specific removal, at least what I can get in mono black. Like let's go up here. T instant O destroy O Planeswalker. Let's spell it correctly. So like there's Assassin's Ink that costs 2 up to 2 less. I'm gonna maybe board that. Bitter Triumph as an additional card. So it should cost 3 life or discard a card. I think that's worth it. It's a creature or planeswalker. Breathe your last. Murderous Rider. Heroes Downfall. Okay, no, breathe your last I to put in there. Feed the Cycle. It's like I don't know how many planeswalkers I will run into, but I do feel like I want that. I want to be that prepared for creatures or planeswalkers, because it is because when they show up and you're not ready for them, it kind of stinks. Because if you let them get out of control, they really run away with the game. Let's put in our I'm not ashamed to put Soul Ring in every deck card. As long as they continue to print, and I'll use Arcane Signet as well. I have absolutely no dignity when it comes to that. He goes in the card draw section. Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature and and draw a card. Yes. And protection from humans. That is exactly the kind of thing I want. See. There's some like trap cards that we kind of might want to avoid, like things that only give -1/-1 until end of turn. Like even if it's across the board. Well, I like how these two are humans, so I think that even if it can backfire on us, I think Crippling Fear, like this guy's big enough that it probably won't matter. Don't care if Murderous Rider goes away. 4/4. Magus, that is a fat Magus. Like this thing might go away, but like that's a different plan. But that's why we also go my other Palace. Our good friend the Palace Siege. And if Yawgmoth's here, like it's kind of a non-bow, because they won't be going away with 0 toughness. But oh, she also has Swamp Walk, so that is actually kind of an interesting thing if I were to decide to want to have Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth in the deck. If you ever see me do this, it's because I'm always looking up here to see how close I am to the deck limit. It's like, what other generic-y cards? Can I search for the minus symbol. Oh, it sees it just shows a dash. That is interesting. That's a thing. I am going to think about stuff though. Oh, there was a. Oh, when you have a thought and it goes away. Oh. Aha, no, I got it. Contagion. So we want the clasp and even engine. And then we want pro-life rate. We don't need to mess with toxic. We're not messing with infect. Oh, Karn's Bastion isn't like 5 mana to proliferate. That ain't the worst. This is a sorcery, so it's not my favorite removal, but proliferate and the minus, so it's basically a slower Grasp of Darkness that'll also proliferate if we're doing that. We can pay 3 life to proliferate. I like the scheming aspirant, but I don't know how much proliferating will actually be in the deck, so we will maybe board it. We're also going to maybe board the Staff of Completion. Yawgmoth is being a terrible influence on our girl, the Massacre Girl. Satisfy. Whew, that was weird. Sacrifice an artifact to proliferate. That's interesting. That Vraska the completed one. Draw a card, lose life, proliferate. I do like that for 6 mana, so this single Vraska is going in. Maybe board, because we'll see what kind of action in that vein we'll be getting later. Oh, some more of my staples. We love having invincible or indestructible commanders, because that's the most annoying thing I can think of. Swifty Boots. And Lightning Greaves. We're going to go to types, because I'm willing to bet, yep, I only have 7 creatures. So we'll go back. So now we need so I said 7 creatures. So we need like at least 13. If I don't know if we need 30 like I was hoping for with the other deck, but since our creatures have Wither, so let's go here again. I wonder if this is a valid search point. Yes. Okay. So power greater than mana value. So let's see what kind of things that we can get. Okay, you can't win and your opponents can't lose. That seems unhelpful. We have to sacrifice a creature to play this. This thing bounces itself until we've completed a very specific dungeon. This is a vehicle. That is an interesting idea, though. That doesn't seem helpful. Archfiend of the Dross causes us to lose the game. That's actually mildly funny. If it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature with power 1 or less, it dies. I guess because it so underestimates its opponent that the opponent pulls out a win somehow. All these, I really should have ordered this by CMC, but I'm not going back. Oh, it can exile cards from graveyards. Although it absolutely has to, so if you're the only one with stuff in your graveyard. Oh, I like this. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, I draw a card and I lose a life. Actually, okay, I still like that. But there's actually a confluence of things I want to find. F-I-R-S-T. I'm looking for the word first in here and I don't see it. Trample, ward, discard a card. This one at least has the word first in it. I like Zenith Chronicle just a little bit, even though other people besides me will be drawing cards. Especially since we're in a monocolored deck, it seems kind of funny. Also, I like Blades and Savannah Lines for this deck because they're mana efficient. And, we'll do Wither Cannons. We'll do a lot of Wither -1/-1 stuff for their mana value. Whoops. That thing's Oracle text must. And that one says first time each turn at least. But I like the Zenith Chronicler as well. Order CMC. Can't block. Can't attack alone. Oh, Carnophage is actually kind of interesting for that Rakdos Rowan deck, the one that makes spells cheaper when if you've lost life during your turn. Yeah, the downsides on these 1 mana ones are killing the vibe. It's all coming into the battlefield tapped or can't block. Huh. I'm gonna maybe board this one because that might actually be worth it. I like it in theory. Oh, hey, look, it's Sancha. Give a 1-mana 3/3 to one of my opponents. That's kind of interesting. There's another deck that I'm definitely going to put that in, though. Yep, that one's that. We'll keep the Harvester as well. Vehicles with Wither seems like a thing. And then Black Lance Paragon, like this is like a cool emergency block. Oh, I actually like Blade of the Oni for this. Oh, that's interesting. If this was a different deck, that would definitely go in. I'm probably not going to go too deep on this idea. Probably not going to go any higher than the MV2 mana value 2. Oh, Slaughter Specialist is fine. Because you give your opponent a 1/1. I'd really like to give my creatures first strike, though. But then again, who doesn't? The only thing I know that's really pointless is Death Touch. Okay, now we're at 3. I want to search for other things with Wither. Just to see if I can get stuff out. Okay, well that doesn't matter. Quick creature gets +1/+0 and has Wither. Wow, 3. Wow, that is expensive. Black creatures you control have Wither. Like, I kind of like that as a, you could say a backup commander, or if I draw it early, like, doing the same thing. And the reason why I like Massacre Girl Known Killer for this is that it gets around indestructible. Stuff that's indestructible will still go away if its toughness is 0. I kind of like Lockjaw Snapper. very focused proliferate. Ooh, I like this one, Midnight Banshee. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a -1/-1 counter on each non-black creature. Oh, taking people's dead. So I'm glad I looked for redundancy, because I think it helped a little bit. Oh, I gotta... Nope, my lands there are still at 39. Though, once again, if I felt I needed to, Barad Dur would go away. Anything over here? What was the Spiteful Heckmage? Oh, that one. Let's go by type again. We're still at 16 creatures, so... So we're going to go up here. We're going to type in T creature. O. See what we can get. See what kind of opponent controls stuff we get. Boy, that's completely counterintuitive. That's so not as good as the Massacre Worm. Whenever another artifact enters the battlefield under your control. It's only until end of turn, but that's interesting. Oh, that actually this reminds me of our good friend, the Phyrexian Obliterator. There he is. Trample whenever a source deals damage, just any damage, combat or non. Hoof. Deals damage to it, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents. It's not as good as the Vindicator, because the Vindicator will prevent the damage, although I don't remember if it has to be combat damage, but still. Da, 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 da. I feel like this is on theme, even though, like, actually I don't like it because it's 7 mana and it's just... Oh, I wonder how much mana that is. There's like a -13/-13 card. But if it's mana expensive, I ain't gonna grab it. Oh, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, exile it with a hit counter on it. Preventing... Just taking stuff out of other people's graveyards is always good. Assassins, mercenaries, and rogues. Oh, hey, look, she's an assassin. have whenever you control have death touch. Oh, well, see, that's worthless. But whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a hit counter from a card that player owns in exile. If you do, draw a card, create 2 treasures. I mean, that's still like sub commander worthy. I'll need other assassins, mercenaries, and rogues for it. Oh, our good friend Meteor Golem, just to destroy non-land permanent. Even if he's expensive. Oh, that reminds me of another thing. Put Sad Robot in, and that gets us to 20 creatures at least. Jeez. I think that's kind of another problem with the deck, because it's like, sure, like your commander has a plan, but I'm not smart enough, I don't think, to like put a bunch of interesting creatures in this deck to use with that. Oh, there's another creature I just thought of, and then my brain immediately erased the information. Maybe going back up here. Oh, yeah. I remember. I don't remember how to spell his name, though. So, after I'm done here, I'll figure it out. Was it Gired? Nope. Oh. Zombie. O. D. K. MV equals 2. Jedar. That's who I wanted. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Just like a thing where I have just get an extra little critter on the field. That's a 2/2 that with my commander will be a 2/2 with Withered. That just seems fun. We're at 77. Oh, we should put the rest of the ramp in there. Was it charcoal diamond? Yep. Cold steel heart. Huh. It's in evasion because it has menace. That's mildly weird. These are called draw cards. It's always interesting. Oh, I have 8 pieces of ramp, supposedly. Yeah, I guess that counts. Although, anything over, like, 3 mana, I wouldn't put in a ramp section. I'd be pedantic and call it something else. Pro-life rate, removal. Some recursion. 2 things that make tokens, so it's not really a theme, they just do stuff. Staff of Completion, Throne of Geth. You know, just in case we get her and one of the other 3 things that proliferate. Nah, that ain't. Honestly, that still doesn't. When I put it that way. Well, I could search for pro-life rate. I don't think I did that yet. Pro-life rate, just in case you were wondering why I was choosing to pronounce it that way. Oh yeah, I already searched here. And I didn't find a whole bunch of things that I was a big fan of. T creature order CMCO first strike. Nope, nope, it needs first strike. Oh, good old Black Knight. 2/2 protection from white. First strike. I like first strike because if I can wither them before they can hit me back. Crystalline Giant eventually gets first strike, not very useful. Close this really quick. Put this back into type. 21. Okay, we were at 21 creatures, so we weren't really hurting for them. Oh, maybe some other big end creatures. Hold on. A-E-C-I-E-N-T. Ancient Brass Dragon. I like the idea of creatures with effects that'll make my opponent want to block them when I attack. Like the Phyrexian Obliterator isn't one of them, even though it has trample. This is definitely a defense creature. Twenty-two creatures, 80 cards. Anyway, oh, I like her because it's just funny. The put +1/+1 counters on my stuff while putting -1/-1 counters on their stuff. Like that's just a little extra dig. Murray the Curse, unfortunately, doesn't do much in this deck because Wither isn't combat damage as far as I can tell. Because it does damage in the form of, which isn't the same as damage. Okay, that's as far as that went as far as interesting goes. Oh, wait. There's another kind of strike. D-O-U-B-L-E. Though I'm not expecting a whole lot of that out of black. Yeah. Let's go back to categories. Other stuff that draws cards, maybe? I think we're good on removal. What's funny is that both that Death Touch and Light Flink are completely worthless on this card if my commander is out. But considering we have a 4-mana commander, there's a chance that it could come out before that. Spyful Hexmage. There's something else. Like, there'd have to be something else on my team that I would not mind being a 1/1 instead of whatever it was. Yeah, there'd be some very specific stuff going on. And I don't think we'll be putting enough artifacts in here. I'm going to leave them in the mating board just to remind me of ideas I had one day. Once upon a time. We could put in the other Massacre Girl. But I'm actually going to do the thing I wasn't a fan of. -1. -1. There's going to be a lot of it. Actually, I kind of want to... Actually, I kind of want to go here. Yeah. Oh, what kind? Yep, no combos found. Oh, for each swamp I control. Were there other printings of this? Okay, good. Okay, that's... See, I didn't... Oh, Jet Medallion. I forgot about that in the other deck, too. Oh, Toxic Deluge is kind of interesting, but I guess I can go to -3 life for -3/-3, because once again, we'd want my commander to stay alive. Oh, see, like Nest of Scarabs, that's interesting. Oh, Blowfly Infestation. See, going to EDH Rec isn't always a bad idea. Sometimes it's like, oh, Tragic Slip, -13, -13. That's not the one I was thinking about. But see, like sometimes when, ooh, like this is really good. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, Gary. Sudden spoiling. I get it. Oh, Thought Vessel, yeah. Reliquary Tower, because we do actually intend to draw a lot of cards, and that's our 40th land. Hold on, my back itches. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, oh, see, we get to draw more cards with this one. See, like I said, I wasn't smart enough to do this on my own. Black Market is kind of funny. I'm not worried about Morbid Opportunist and is the ability triggering only once. Oh, look at this. Crumbling Ashes. I mean, it non-bows with our commander, but sometimes you gotta do emergency measures. When Skin Render enters the battlefield, put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature. Like, that's really good. Like, where's my brain thinking about that? Oh, look at this zombie snake. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they lose 1 life, and you put a -1/-1 counter on one of their things. Like, this is some neat stuff. Other black creatures get +1/+1. Non-black creatures get -1/-1. Should have thought about that. That's funny as heck. Karavik the Spiteful. I'm gonna maybe board that. It is funny card. Oh yes, I mentioned this, didn't even put it in. Let's scroll back to top, because there's actually something I thought about. P-I-T-I-L. I don't, the eye control thing. So what are we at? Oh, wow, that got us to 99. We have 31 creatures, though. That's probably more creatures than I need. But I'm not going to take any out. And we're staying at 40 lands. And in fact, I'm going into my history again just to go J-E-T-M-E-D. You know, the jet medallion that we forgot. And then we will... Honestly, leech-ridden swamp. It's funny, but it's unnecessary. Hiya. There we go. Funny to think about, but... Actually, I do like Character Spiteful, even if it hurts me, because it gets rid of unbuffed token strategies. Although this is a very high chance of decking ourselves kind of situation. But you know what? No, I'm... Creatures with 0 toughness cannot block. So let's give this thing a real name. My God, I'm actually searching for... all these things that I've done. I like that. All these things that I... Is it I've or I have? I've. Done. Now it goes to unlisted from private. Save changes. There we go. And there we go. Our mono black double feature. I'm probably more happy with the elf deck than I am with this one. But that's because I was like, oh, like, I did have to end up going to this EDH rec tab because I'm like, I don't know. And that feels like a failure on my part. Ooh, all creatures. I'm gonna maybe board that. Like, getting rid of my own stuff, never a fan of, but like sometimes you do have to clear the board, and I need to learn to be an adult. when it comes to that. But wow, we didn't even. We're at an hour 55. So next week is mono red. I don't think it'll be a double feature because I don't think there's two red commanders with partner that I would put together. But I do have a commander in mind for mono red, and it's not going to be goblins.